All right, guys, welcome again to the section of the Art of Mental Mastery. And right now, we're going to be looking at the two minds. And the simple promise for this section is this: to introduce you to the almost superhuman version of yourself that you didn't know actually existed. And number two, to show you that this is a very real side of yourself that can be tapped into to create the life or the business that you want, right? So a couple of myths and mistakes about this topic is thinking that you need to become like somebody else. You probably heard this term, fake it like till you make it. And there's a great quote by Leonardo da Vinci when he was asked the question, "Hey, Leonardo, how did you create this beautiful sculpture of David?" And his reply was really powerful. He said, "All I did was I chipped away at everything that wasn't David." And here's what I'm here to tell you. You don't need to become another person. You don't need to pretend to be like some person that you admire. There's nothing wrong with you. But when you start to get rid of all the things that are not really you, like your guilt, your fears, your frustrations, your infatuations, your judgments, your griefs, your losses, your depressions, your sadness, when you get rid of all that junk from your system, all the things that are not really you, all you're going to be left with is who you really are. And that's what this system is about. But today, I'm going to show you why today you don't need to become like somebody else. You just need to tap in to a more powerful version of yourself, a version that has reared its head and you've seen glimpses of at moments. But today I'm going to make it very, very distinct for you to see that there are two different minds that you are usually operating from. And the people that are most successful, they're operating from their higher mind. So let's get into what these two different minds are. So I want you to notice that in life, in business, in any area of your life, there are states that you go into. And this could be you go into it for an hour, you go into it for a day, for a week, for months. Some people live their whole lives in these states. But I want you to notice that no matter how long you've been in these states, there have been states where you're anxious, you're indecisive, you're uncertain, and you're overthinking. And you'll find that you also in this state, you are susceptible to complaining and wishing and resenting the current situation that you're in. I hate this, I hate that, complaining about people, places, things. And it's funny that during this, you also end up gossiping a lot, complaining, you minimize yourself a lot. And during this and in this place, you end up, looking for praise and you hate criticism. You are thinking and seeking and procrastinating. So it's hard for you to make a decision. There's a lot of just thinking and in your head and not being able to find the decision and looking at 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 different decisions that you can't actually make. And there's a lot of procrastination and not a lot of doing and acting and getting results. And in this place, you're also avoiding pain. You're often seeking the short-term gratification and pleasure. So when you're in this state, you'll notice that, it's easier to go for the donut. It's easier to go for that bottle of Coke. It's easier to go for that drink. It's easier to reach for that cigarette. It's easier to attend that party. It's easier to gossip. It's easier to complain. You'll notice that any one of these little symptoms that you have, when you have this symptom, you are susceptible to all these symptoms. And I'm going to explain why in a moment. But in this moment, you're also making decisions based on fear, stress, and you're in a survival mentality, fight or flight. See, when you're in this place, and by the way, you might be thinking, what does this place even look like? Well, I want you guys to think back about 3 years ago. If you're in Australia, there was a moment where, you would be on the road and you'd be smiling at your neighbor while you're going out and you're getting the paper. And 2-3 hours later, you'd be in the shopping center and that same neighbor would be ripping out the toilet paper out of your hand because of this whole COVID debacle. But how is it that another human being can turn into such an animal? And maybe you did that. But it's not because something's wrong with you. It's simply because you went into your survival mind, your fight or flight mind, where you went into your amygdala. And in this place, you receive all these symptoms or you become susceptible to all these symptoms. And I'm going to go into some more symptoms so you can really identify with this place. Do you also notice that when you're in this place, you notice that challenges are in the way? You are in a place where you're like, I don't want challenges. I hate challenges. They're in the way. You see them as obstacles to where you want to go. Here, you're not present in the current moment and, you're either focused on fears or fantasies. And what I mean by that is you're focused on all the things that could go wrong, or You're wishing and you're wishing for things to be easier, for someone to save you, for someone to bring a shortcut that's going to save your business, for someone to give you a little tactic that's going to help you, transform your entire relationship within a click of a finger. You're looking for easy things. And I want you to notice that this is a specific state that you're in. And I also want you to notice that there have been glimpses. Now, some of you, it just depends. Some of you primarily operate in this place. Some of you only have glimpses or have had glimpses in this place. And some of you, go into this higher mind or this better place from time to time. But I want you to notice that there's also been other times where you experience these symptoms. You have clear thinking and calmness and certainty instead of anxiety, indecision, uncertainty, and overthinking. You have gratitude and pleasant thoughts about people and everyday situations, good or bad. You're able to see the best in people despite their failures. I mean, there are people who often they're in this place. This is the mind they're operating with. And whenever something goes wrong, there's no forgiveness. There's just instant, yep, this person is bad. This person is a write-off. Can't build a relationship with them. There's absolutely no forgiveness. And these people in this place over here, they're able to see the best in people despite their failures. And it's also funny that when you're in this state with the green, it's easier to appreciate praise and criticism a little bit equally, right? Which means that if you get praised or if you get criticized, you see them as kind of equal. You don't go, oh my God, I would love to get praised and hate to be criticized. That's this side over here. But this side, you see them as fairly equal. And instead of being in a place where you're avoiding pain and you're seeking and you're thinking, oh, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? And bouncing around 1,000 different ideas instead of taking action, in this place, you are knowing, you are being, and you are doing. Often, even in my business, there was a point where when I first started in my business, I was so excited. I was in the right frame of mind. And I was just doing. I didn't even know what I was doing. I ran a seminar, a big workshop, and I had no idea even what to do. No one taught me anything, right? And there was a period in the middle of my business years. Now I've been in business for 4+ years. But in the middle of my business, there was a period where when I was trying to run, workshops and events, I was sitting there going, oh my God, what do I do? Or like, oh, that's right. Can someone teach me? Can someone give me the checklist? I wanted someone to save me again, right? Whereas when I was in the right frame of mind, I just knew what to do. I didn't even know what I was doing. I was just going, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this, let's try that, right? And I was in a state of knowing, being, and doing. And here, you're also able to embrace tough realities with courage and you think long term. Here, you're also making decisions based on an abundant mindset, calculated risk, and confidence to handle future obstacles. And you see challenges as on the way to their obstacles. And here you're present in the here and now, and you're focused on the person and the situation in front of you. Okay, so what I also mean by this is you've probably heard of this term called the scarcity mindset. And that's where, you don't want to invest, you want to step back, you're very risk averse, you don't want to take any risks. But on this side, you are abundant. I've noticed that a really good example of this is when people are operating from this state, they're the type of people who go, oh my God, there's not enough clients, and they want to compete with everyone. And they're very jealous of other people. And over here, these are the people who just go, well, there's clients for everyone. There's enough to share. Totally two different mindsets, And I want you to recognize that you have been, and maybe you're more so in this one or more so in this one. It doesn't matter. Here's what I want you to realize, that these are two different minds. We call it the lower mind. And this over here is the higher mind. And in the lower mind, you're operating from your amygdala. Now, your amygdala is the animal mind, and it's the thing responsible for putting out your fight or flight response, which is the avoid predator, seek prey. Avoid pain, seek pleasure, which is where these people are at. Avoid the pain of, oh my God, what happens if we're not going to be able to survive, because of COVID? So let me go seek the pleasure of going and saving up all the toilet paper. Right? I don't like my job, so I'm going to hate this job and look forward to Friday drinks. Here is the lower mind. People are operating from a place of just chasing pleasures. And here, people are far more centered. They're grounded, they're poised, and they're operating from the prefrontal cortex, which from a neuro perspective, the prefrontal cortex is responsible for the logical and the planning center. It's also, when you're operating from this place, you're not susceptible to temptations, okay? So here's what I want you guys to realize, that at any given moment, we are either operating from these two different minds, okay? And here's the thing, whether you're running a business or you're trying to chase a goal or you're trying to become a better person, you want to become more confident, more resilient, you want to think clearer, you want to find your purpose, whatever it is, your best work happens when you are in the higher mind. And when you are in the lower mind, which means that you're more so an emotional wreck, that's where your poorest work will happen. That's where you are less confident, you are more anxious. And here's the point. The point is this entire program is designed to show you how to get into the higher mind more so. Because I know that if you can operate from that place, you know what to do. You try things, you figure out things, you're confident, you're resilient, you know that you can handle yourself. You're clear, you're calm, you're focused, you're happy, you're grateful, you're powerful. And when you're operating from your lower mind, you're disempowered. And a lot of other programs, they'll just show you how to solve your problems here and there. But I know that there is a part of you that when you're tapped into this state, you can do anything. So a lot of other programs will show you how to solve specific problems. But the thing I'm going to show you how to do is to get into this state with a predictable, proven method called the Invictus method. So you can operate your business, your life, your goals, anything that you want to do from this place and get better results. So having said that, guys, here are some important points that I want to get across. Number one, most try to take action towards their life or their business goals from the lower mind, which often results in failure and wasted time, money, and energy, right? So your results in your health, wealth, mindset, relationships, if done from the higher mind, will be much better. Number two, you think, feel, act, and get your best results when coming from the higher mind. And the aim of this program is to show you how to tap in and stay in the higher mind as often as possible. So guys, I hope that was valuable, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next session. All the best. Bye.